Thiruvan Saranai.
Saranai Bante.
Oh, I thought I was on.
Okay, Bante is here right now. Bante, everybody ready to listen to your talk? So, behalf of our children and behalf of the Dayakas, I would like to invite Bante Kondañña, abbot of Staten Island Buddhist Vihara, to give his Dhamma talk. So some of you know Bante. He's here a couple of times and gave talks. So you are familiar to him. Also, Bante, have your students are here.
Right.
Bante, they are from New Jersey.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think I remember them. Yeah. Okay.
Just move to here. Okay, Bante, please.
All right. So let me start with saying Namo Tassa. We usually do that way, right? Say together with me, you can say Namo Tassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. So, good evening, dear friends, children. We're very happy to talk to you this evening. I know this is a rainy retreat, time of the rainy retreat. All of you are. Time to time, you may be visiting Bante Vajrapala. You have a good teacher there. So visiting him and learning from him, you had a great, opportunity to learn the Dhamma teachings of the Buddha Sadhu. So I heard today also he's having Atavisi Buddha Puja. See, we're talking about, yes, right? Yes, I think you are getting ready for that. So at least we have to know the Buddha that we talk about. There are previously, time to time in this world systems were changing, and world is always coming to exist and disappear after a long time period. We know in now the earth that we are living in, according to the scientific information, we call it 13 billion years old, or a little bit more than that. So, but Buddha, his vision is beyond that. He has so deep understanding about Loka, the world systems. So therefore we call Lokavidu, right? I think you remember, right? Itipiso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Vijja Charna Sampanno Sugato Lokavidu. One quality out of 9 qualities. Of course, Buddha had more than 9 qualities. But what they did was put them together into 9. So those 9, we remember, we remind ourselves every day, and we want to practice them. We want to pay respect to Buddha, right? Yes, we recite them to practice, but we have to understand the meaning of those. Very important for us to know. Knowing we put our palms together and respect him. Why? Because he is so virtuous, he is so dedicated. And I believe you have learned. So he did practice for eons and eons to be Buddha. But remember, he didn't do any of those things. He didn't want to be the Buddha to boost his ego and show off to the world. Right? I think you understand that, right? Yes. So he just wanted to really find the path of happiness and share it with the other beings. That is what he was trying to do for 45 years. So for a long time period, he was searching for the truth. And then finally he, came to this world in this lifetime story, we know he was born into the royal family as Prince Siddhartha, and 29 years he was in the palace. His father wanted him to be the really powerful ruler. Father was not interested in making him a Buddha. He wanted him to be a very powerful, strong ruler. So, but that is not the reason why he came to this world, right? He came to this world to find the path of happiness and share it with the other beings for that reason. So he did that. But he went through, before he realizing, finding what he was looking for, he went through so much. I think you understand those things you learn in Dhamma school. I'm not going to go into that. But however, out of those teachings that he taught to you and to all of us, I like to share a story with all of you. I think that stories could be very helpful. I think some of you have your grandparents at home. You are so lucky. Why? Because you have an opportunity to learn from your grandparents' stories. And some of you have grandmas and grandparents, so lucky when they are around you. And because you can learn from them. They have time. You have time for them. They have time for you. And then you learn a lot of things. So nowadays, especially, you have to be very, very careful. Why? Because of COVID. Yes. COVID is so around us. So if you do practice, if you do practice what Buddha Hamdru taught, we can be safe. How can we be safe? You have to think about it. Okay, that's a good idea. What else? That's true. What else? Keeping the distance, right? So those are necessary steps. You know what happened? Many of us, we forget when we come together, when we see your friends, you forgot all those things what we're supposed to do. That is kind of dangerous. I have seen some of our friends, when they see their friends, wow, they forgot. After a long time, they are meeting. When they forget and they go and they trying to hug, and they become very close, close to each other. That way, you will not be protected. So that's where you need this, you have to have mindfulness that Buddha Hamru spoke about, right? You have to have, what else? Compassion. You have to have loving kindness towards you as well as the others. You have to think of other people. You have to think of yourself. Buddha Hamru all taught us to do anything, when we always think of good, what is good and what is bad. When we think of good, always you have to remember, keep that in your mind. You can be, if you are a selfish person, you will forget other people. You just think of yourself. You think, oh, this is good for me. Then you will be deciding to do that. But if you really take time and think of other people, that may be not good for you to do that, because it's hurting other people. Thinking of what you say, what you do, it could hurt other people. So you should not do those things. Always Buddha Hamdru said, be mindful, choose your action correctly, mindfully. If it is hurting you or if it is hurting other people, don't do that. Because some people, they forget. Some people, they forget that it is hurting. Sometimes they don't care themselves, but they care about others. It's a nice thing, but it is not the nice thing according to Buddha Hamru's teaching. So therefore, he asks us to be very mindful. being mindful, we have to do things, we have to say things. Otherwise, you may be hurting your friend or the other person who is with you. So therefore, we have to be very, very careful. And therefore, you always nice to have good friends. Good friends. You know, I think we all need friends. That is why you want to go back to school. You're looking for your teacher. You want to see your teacher. I think you want to see your friends. And because being at home for such a long time, you kind of, you really eagerly waiting to see your friends. So desirous to see your friend. I believe that's for, common to many of you. Some of you maybe don't care, you want to, it's nice to be, by myself alone. Sometimes that may be, that quietness, you have some good time, and that timing could be really helpful for you to calm down yourself. You may be enjoying peace. And therefore, we have to really be mindful to, when we are choosing friends, nice people, who are not hurting, you are not hurting them, and they are not hurting you, and they are not hurting others. And nobody is supposed to hurt anybody else around us. So therefore, always you have to be very mindfully pick up your friends, because that is the way to live our everyday life. In our daily life, the Buddha's teaching must be with us. Okay? Buddhism for daily life, that's what we have to think. How can we apply daily life in the Buddha's teaching in everyday life? So yes, you have really be very mindful on this. Otherwise, if you are not mindful, we will be hurting yourself or the others. So that's we should not do. I think sometimes you may be thinking that everybody who smiles to you, you may be thinking they are your friends. And sometimes maybe even that you don't want to believe what your amma and tata says. Why? You being at home, you got fed up. So therefore, yes, sometimes that happens, right? So then when that happens, what do? Is you're trying to be ignoring what your parents are trying to help you, trying to guide you. So that is maybe not the thing. Let me tell you the story. Something happened to someone who is not listening to his parents. Stop. Okay, I will share with you a story of the hawk and the tiny bird. Okay, tiny bird. So there was a little bird. Okay. I think you maybe know this story perhaps. If you know, please let me know. I think you know the bird called quail. I believe you know this little tiny bird. Vatukurulla we call it. Vatukurulla. Little tiny bird. And this tiny bird, what happens? Was not, one day he went away from his territory. Okay. Normally he is in the field hiding among the clumps of dirt, but one day he went far away from it. He was not where he's supposed to be. When he was far away place where he's not supposed to be, what happened to him? I think you know the eagles, bald eagles, or these what do you call the hawk? Hawk can fly very far and long time. They can freely fly. As it was flying, and also they have very sharp eyes. The sharp eyes can see things. Their lenses are so deep, they can see so far distance. Then this hawk could see this tiny little bird. Seeing the tiny little bird, he swooped down and caught this quail bird. Just took it. And then what happened? He was flying now, looking for a spot to sit down and eat him up. Then what happened? This bird started crying. It was saying, wow, if I were in my territory, if I were in my field where I'm supposed to be, this would not happen. He would not be able to fight with me. Unfortunately, I went far away from my ancestral, territory. So then as he was flying, holding on his, clothes, he was flying. Then the hawk thought, what is that? He asked, what do you mean by your territory? Where is your field? Where is your range? Then quail bird said, oh, that is where this, lot of the rice field, where these clumps of dirt is over, you know that the plowing, when the plowing is, done, farmers, when they do, they, clumps of, earth is there, so they can hide underneath those. And all right, when he was talking, when this quail bird saying that, if I were in my, range or in my territory, he would not, matching to my fight with me. I could hide myself. So then what did this hawk did? He took him back. All right, I let you go to your territory. I put you back in there. So then show me. Then what happened? As he told, this tiny little bird, he stood up on this, clump of earth that where the farmers were working. And when he was standing there, hawk went away and flying around and watching. Then he saw, for the second time, he saw this, little quail bird. Then again he swoops down. But when he gets real close to this place, quail bird could hide away on this clump of earth. Then what happened? Hawk came, and how so fast he came, thinking of catching this bird. Instead of catching him, what happened? He could not. He disappeared, and he struck his chest against this clump of earth. Right on the spot, he died. So there are two lessons. One lesson was that the first time, little tiny bird, he should not wander, he should not go out of his territory. Okay? He shouldn't have gone away from his own territory. Because it's for you, what we can say is that for you children, you all should be always sitting, listening to your parents and sit around. If they say no, your teacher, your monk, or your grandma, your grandpa, your elders, you're always caring about you, you are providing good advices. Sometimes you may not understand. Then what you do is you have to ask them question. What does that mean? Why does that happen? You always can learn from asking questions. Otherwise, if you just think that you know everything and do whatever you think right, being an stubborn, not without listening to your parents, so it could be happen to you what happened to the quail bird. Hawk came and could carry you, or somebody else can carry you away from the territory. Therefore, you always have to discuss with your parents and learn from them and listen and practice what they say. And on the second example is, now look at what happened to the hawk. He thought he would be smart. He can do things. Definitely, he was very powerful one. He can, do smartest things. Yet, he did not know other person's territory, how it is the field. He did not have any experience prior to this. So therefore, he got in trouble. So therefore, in both ways, we can see that doesn't matter older or younger, when we do not know right things about right in those places, therefore we have to be very careful. We have to learn carefully. We have to understand things. With understanding, we have to work out things. Otherwise, we will be in trouble. I don't think that any of you need troubles, right? No, none of us need troubles. So we always have to be safely sitting and listening, learning Dhamma. That's why you come to Dhamma school. Dhamma school is the place for you to learn Dhamma. And learn the Dhamma, and you have to practice them everyday life. You are not learning to Dhamma to listen and enjoy it and let it go. We are always learning Dhamma stories. Stories is for us to remember and practice. So you have to remember this quail and the story of the hawk and the quail. There are many beautiful stories are there. So all those stories are for us to learn and practice in our everyday life. Good children always listen carefully, and what they listen, they practice. And good children always have good friends. We call them, good friends are called Kalyana Mitta. Okay? You have to remember Kalyana Mitta. One Pali word is good for you to remember. What is the word? Kalyana Mitta. How many of you have Kalyana Mittas? Why do you call that you have a Kalyana Mitta? I want to explain it to you. Why do you call that you have a Kalyana Mitta? What is Kalyana Mitta doing?
The right thing.
Huh?
To do the right thing.
When you say right, then need another question. What do you mean by right?
Tell us the right thing.
I know. You know what? For you it may be right thing. Sometimes maybe it is. If I don't hear the right words, I cannot think that I don't know if it is right or wrong. Always good Kalyanamit, the good friend is always guiding you to do good things. Good things are always beneficial to you and beneficial to the others, right? And good friend is never teach you any bad thing. For example, if we were encouraging to kill a mouse, right? Hurt the cat, hurt the dog that you at home, I don't think it's a good thing to do, right? So good friend is always guiding you to practice Dhamma, good things. Dhamma means good things. What Buddhahamru learned, to be respectful to Buddhahamru, leading you to do the right things. Right thing could be helping grandma at home. Elderly people, they need help. Being young people, we can support them, right? And also you are very carefully become a good listener. Maybe a good friend is always guiding you to listen very carefully, right? Also, otherwise, what happened? What the person is saying that you saying that he is a good friend, but he may be guiding you to leading you to do something bad, something hurting other people. If that is that friend is, so we will not consider that one as a good friend. Good Kalyanamit is always trying to keep you away from all 5 kinds of mistakes. Panatipata, killing, right? Stealing, doing anything bad, bad behavior, or else maybe lying to other people. So such things you may not, that good friends may never lead you to do that. Oh, if Amma asks, don't tell Amma, lie to her. So that kind of deceiving things that he would not do. So therefore you have to be very mindful. Good friends are always, there are some friends, they are just coming to take something away from you, not to share something with you. Good friends are always sharing. Good friends are always protecting you from any danger. So therefore you have to be very, very mindful. Being mindfully, if you do things, you definitely can be that good friend can be a good blessing. So therefore, good things, we come to Dhamma school and learn the Dhamma from all the good friends as well as your teacher, Bante Vajra, Bante Pala. So learning from him, you're supposed to practice. What you learn from Dhamma school, you have to apply it in everyday life. At home, maybe when you are with your friends, you can help and you can guide them. Sometimes some children, they do not know what is right and what is wrong. What you have learned right as right and wrong, those things you can help them too. Or when he try to kill any living being, you can stop them, because we are not supposed to. Living beings have right to live. So as Buddhists, that I believe you are doing that. You are protecting the life of other beings. You are securing them. You are showing kindness to them, to all beings equally. So this is what our practice is supposed to be. True? Is that true or not? Yes? Do you have any questions? I think we have only a couple of more minutes. Wow, no minutes. I think Bante is ready to offer puja now. So therefore, you have to really greatly appreciate what Buddhamaru said. Okay?
It's like I remember learning about like the mango thing, like comparing humans to mangoes. Like the one who deceives like has like a red skin, so they look good, but they have a white inside, so they're actually bad on the inside.
Okay.
And also, like if you have a good friend, like they help you and you help them back, because you need to also be a good friend to them, not just them have to be a good friend.
Yes, definitely you have to. You have to, but good friends are not expecting that. Good friends are always expecting you to be nicer person. When you're a nicer person, definitely they are happy. Amma and Tata is good, really good friends that you have. They are always happy when you are doing the right thing. So therefore you have to be very mindful, respectful to them. Whoever teaching you nicer things, you always have to be respectful. Okay? So thank you. I think you are now, it's time for you to engage in the Atavisi Puja. So we wish all of you good health, peace, and happiness. May all beings, may we and all beings be well, happy, and peaceful. May we and all beings be well protected from this, COVID-19. May they be free from any kind of difficulties, any kind of sickness. May they always have peace of mind. So Bhavatu sabba mangalam rakhantu sabba devata dhanubhavena sabba dhammanubhavena sabba sanghanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te. All right, children. So now we engage in activities. So we will hope that we will meet again somewhere sometime later. Okay, later time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, Baba.
Good Saturday night.
Saranai.
Teruvan saranai. Teruvan saranai.